Hey guys. So today we are looking at lesson number 25. And lesson 25 is really working off of lesson number 24, where we were completing the table. So we're converting fractions, decimals, and percents. So again, if you haven't watched your notes for lesson number 25, go back and take care of that first. But we're going to be looking at your entrance slips here. So let's get your entrance slips out. Let's go to lesson number 25 and let's show you what we are talking about. All right. So the big idea still here that we use over and over again is that percent is out of 100. All right. That's the key thing that's here. So we also need to make sure we're good with our place values. All right. So remember your tenths, right? Your hundredths and your thousands. Again, there are more. We're not going to be pushing. Those are just don't see them. So you guys see what they give you. So in this case, they gave me a decimal. So if I'm going to say this decimal, I need to say it with my place value. And you can see we are one number to the right of the decimal, which means we're in the tenths. So we read it as 3/10. Well, there's your fraction. 3/10. 3/10. So we just need to say it. So if they give you a decimal, all right, get ready to say it. That's a big thing they've given here. All right, so now percent. Percent is always out of 100. Well, right now, when I look at my fraction, it's 3 out of 10. Okay, but I need it out of 100. Okay, well, let's get it out of 100 then. Right now, I've got 3/10. I need it out of 100. So what you can multiply by? Yeah, 10 times 10 is 100. 3 times 10, yeah, that's a 30. So now that I'm out of 100, I've got my answer, 30%. So out of 100, big ticket item there. All right. Saying it. All right. That's another big thing that we need to end up using with our place values. All right. So this time they gave me 9%. Okay. Well, let's think about this. Percent. Percent is always out of 100. So there we are. 9 out of 100. All right. So decimal, well, we can just say it. Because it's either a tens, hundredths, thousands, all right, we can go right from the fraction into the decimal. So that's 9/100ths, which means hundredths uses two place values. And I got to drop the number 9 in there. But I got to land in the hundredths position. So it's going to fit it to the far right, which means I'll the placeholder that's there. So decimal point 0.09. There's your 9/100ths. Okay, so those ideas are breaking off of lesson number 24. This is where lesson 25 gets a little bit different. They're not always going to give you something that ends in the tens, hundreds, or thousands. And let's look at this with 2/5. All right, I can't change it to a decimal right now. Can't change it to a decimal because it's not out of tens, hundreds, thousands. This isn't, that's 2/5. That's a 5. It's not a 10, it's not a 100, it's not a 1,000 there. Okay, so we want to get it to something that is a tens, hundreds, or thousands. So a few different ways to go about this. First of all, you might realize, oh my goodness, we can get out of tens right away. Well, what do you multiply by? Oh, 2. Right. So 2 times 2. Oh, so it's a 4. 4/10. Now, because it's out of one of my place values, we can write it down. It's the tenths, which is one number to the right, and I have to drop number 4 in there. So there's my 4/10. Let's go over to your percent. Percent is always out of 100. Well, I could use either fraction, the 2/5, or the 4/10. It's not going to make any difference. I'll just use the 4/10 because that's a little bit cleaner. All right, I need it out of 100. So once again, we'll multiply by 10. So 4 times 10, 40. Now we're out of 100. So my official answer there is 40%. All right. Now here's the one we're a little more interested in. 3/8. Okay, not as friendly here. Not as friendly. All right. The one thing that we do want to keep in mind is, what does that fraction bar mean? The fraction bar. Remember the fraction bar? So yes, we say that's 3/8, but that's the exact same thing as 3 divided by 8. So reach for your calculator here. Go ahead. All right. Punch that on in. 3 divided by 8. Oh my goodness, it gave me a decimal. There it is. 0.375. 0.375. So in other words, 375 thousandths. Now I say that because it's important, because remember, I need a percent. A percent's always out of 100. All right. So if we say this, this is 375 thousandths. But because it's a percent, we want it out of 100. So this is where all your elementary school moving place values comes into place. Get it? Place value. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to happen. I just realized that it happened. I just wanted to acknowledge it. So really all we're doing is we're taking away one place value. So to move that decimal one place value, we're dividing by 10. So if I take 375 and divide by 10, remember, we're just moving it one place value, 37.5. So it's 37.5%. Again, we moved it a place value, 375, get a little cleaner here, 375. And again, if you think about what you know in elementary school, dividing it by a 10, it's going to take that placeholder and move it one spot over. Now, there's other ways of doing this as well, just so you want to know. There are patterns here. For example, all right, you could go from a decimal to a percent. You could get out of 100, or if you've got the decimal, it's always 2 spots to the right. That's 2 spots to the right because it's out of 100, so we're timesing it by 100 there. So if you take that 0.3 and move it 2 spots, there's your 30. Take that 0.09 and move it 2 spots, there's your 9. Take that 0.4, move it 2 spots, you don't need your 0, there's your 40. Take that decimal 2 spots, 37.5%. So there are definitely a lot of ways of taking advantage of this. So if you notice the patterns, make use of it. But pretty much, if you notice that percent's out of 100, and you know your place value of tens, hundreds, and thousands, you're set to go. So go ahead, people. You're done here. Get on to that next step. Make sure you're checking your answers with the answer key. All right, we'll see you later.